That's right. We are live and welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole. Class is now in session. We are here with our resident advisor at Vesuvius MXO. We're going to discuss the new Matrix trailer that set the internet on fire today. Excuse me, Matrix poster, the official Matrix poster that set the internet on fire today. At least I had my phone pretty warm all day. Speaking of, let me tweet this out to let everyone know that we are in the lecture hall getting ready to go in on these promotional materials that Warner and the Matrix movie put out today on social media. So we're going to be a little Twitter Matrix meta and tweet this out to everybody. Let them know we're live. Let a few more people come on in the room. But shout out to Kavion Davis, Beverly Coates, Marie. We got some A+ students in the building. Vesuvius, why don't you say hello to the class?
Welcome back, Red Pills. Got a lot to talk about.
So where should we begin? What would be the first order of business here?
Boy, how about the poster?
Yeah, that seems to be the hot topic. And that wasn't the only promotional material that dropped today. But we can go ahead and get started with the poster here. So if I can share my screen, I've got that ready to go. Oh, wrong button. There we go. So that is the... Oh, okay. So this is the Matrix Resurrections poster as it appears on the whatisthematrix.com website. Right? Yeah. But I thought it was pretty good quality there. So what were your initial thoughts when you saw it today?
Well, I was a little surprised to see Erendira on the poster. Erendira Ibarra. We don't know her
Yeah,
character's name yet.
we're definitely going to circle back to that, but continue.
The next thing was we see Nia with sunglasses, and we see Trinity as Trinity and not her blue pill name or copy top name,
I
which
believe
is
that's
speculated to
Tiffany.
be Tiffany. Yes.
Yes. Real quick, Lorenzo brings up a great point. As you guys are making your way into the Matrix University lecture hall, please like the stream. We want to reach and touch as many Matrix fans, hardcore Matrix fans, as we can. So make sure you like the stream. If you like the stream, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe already. But yeah, you were saying about Trinity being in, this kind of all black everything, classic Trinity gear, and not looking like normal blue pill Tiffany in the Simulate shop. So I also noticed that Bugs is always carrying her firearm. She's not messing around. She's always ready to fire something off. I saw a comment here about Morpheus. Let me see if I can highlight that. Marie says, I must say Morpheus looks like the Joker from 1989, and it's crazy how Trinity looks the same. I didn't even that color scheme, the Joker. I like that. It's pretty accurate though.
Well, he's not the true Morpheus. We know that he's not the true Morpheus, so he's off a little bit.
Well, on that note, spoiler alert, if it is a spoiler, considering we haven't even seen the movie, nobody that we know personally has. But yeah, the Morpheus sim in the Matrix Online, he looked exactly like Morpheus. I mean, he had the same, character model, same jacket, same everything. So, that could lend itself to something maybe. But, again, I didn't really think that if the Morpheus that we're dealing with in the Matrix Resurrections is a Morpheus sim or codex or whatever word you want to use, I didn't believe that it would be the one created by the general. So there's that. His new creator might have a little bit more style, a little bit more flair. But I wanted to ask you specifically, what did you think? What do you make of this return to the source tagline?
Yeah. Okay. So very very interesting. So we've I think we've mentioned it in every live stream for the last couple of months. It's that whole thing about what version um, of the Matrix was at the closing of Revolutions. So I maintain that Neo did not reach the source and therefore did not reload the Matrix.
Right. So he's
For the
still
tagline,
right. He still should be returning to, or he's still supposed to return to the source anyway.
yeah, he's supposed to return to the source per the Oracle's prophecy, but we know that the prophecy was not exactly a lie. Just like she didn't lie to him when he said, "Oh, I'm not the one." She just kind of went along with it. Yes, it's okay to believe this because this is what's going to get us to that. And telling him you must go to the source is him having to go to the architect's office and make that final decision. Of course, he chose the other door, did not go to the source. So for it to be a tagline is pretty big. Uh, it's got some pretty big implications. So if Neo has that choice to make again, which I don't necessarily know that he's qualified to do, and I'll get to that maybe a little later, would he change his mind? Would he choose the same thing?
Now, what I was gonna say about you bringing up the Oracle, yeah, she's kind of going through the motions of the prophecy and all that fun stuff, but at the moment in which Neo is propositioned by the architect to choose one door or the other, the Oracle had not yet allowed Smith to have the power of her eyes. So if he chose to return to the source at that point, it is my belief that the Matrix would have reset just fine, and that the Smith virus would have been eradicated with no problem through the reset, because he didn't have the power of the Oracle's eyes. That step is what made him the threat that could potentially threaten the real world and work his way back into destroying everything, because of that source code connection through the Oracle. The Smith virus itself wasn't able to tap into that, or specifically, I guess, break out of the Matrix without the power of her eyes, so to speak. Cross over into the real world through the hardware and not just the Bane experiment. But yeah, that was just something. I don't even remember where that came up. That might have been like a Discord conversation. Real quick here, Astro Ice says, thought of this channel immediately with the source. I appreciate that. That's actually like, at least I take that as a compliment. But yeah, a while back, I mean, this might have been, if you don't count the Matrix Online videos from 2008, this might have been like my second video on this channel. But there's an advanced yellow pill matrixology video, and there's a clip from one of the Wachowski interviews, and that I think a longer clip is in the Wachowski interview like compilation video. So there's a couple places you can find it on this channel. But Lana talks about the importance of the golden code and how that's the key to the trilogy, and more specifically, especially breaking down and figuring out Revolutions. So that element, that source code, that's been there. That's not a new thing. But specific to the flavor of this channel, the reason why I really like that comment, I mean, Astro Ice is another one of our A+ perfect attendance yellow pilled students here. But if there's anything that I want people to take away from this kind of, I guess, social experiment or Matrix fan community that we've got going here, it's to dig beneath the surface, be in the habit and the practice of tracking things back to the original source as far as you can get. Not everything will give you access. Sometimes something is above your level of access, or you might not be able to get to the original source, but get as far as you can. Don't take everything at face value just because somebody tells you something. Check it out, background check that, get some receipts, That is the main lesson that I would hope people take away from this experience. And I know I don't want to be like all preachy or like, you know what I'm saying? Like I definitely am here to have fun and just enjoy the franchise. But I do believe that that was one of the more powerful lessons that I took away from, you know, having fun with participating in the trilogy, especially Revolutions. You know, trying to come up with your own answers and fill in the gaps and figure out what happened. You know, I didn't really feel confident until I started this project and went even deeper than I thought I went before. You know, and a lot of that was because when I went in depth with trying to find answers the first time around, a lot of that experience was, you know, on the original Matrix website and the Matrix online forums, and you know, years and years going by, and you know, we've got the Wayback Machine. You can try to dig up and find stuff from there, but you know, for all normal purposes, it's not there anymore. So I said, okay, let's rediscover this, but let's rediscover this in a public forum. Let's rediscover this as a group. Let's, you know, figure this out together. And here we are. You know, I'm teaching you guys stuff, but you guys bring stuff up and teach me things all the time. So, you know, yeah, return to the source. Let's do it together. Looking, oh yeah, the comments are flying now. I'm already behind.
Well, I'll say this: we got the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer number 2 yesterday, and today we get a TV spot and we get the poster. And I think Matrix is ahead, and I'm really enjoying the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I was a little bit let down by that Spider-Man trailer. After just seeing this poster, I'm really hyped, and of course it's biased, but I want to know what our viewers and listeners feel, because there's got to be some crossover. I'm not the only crossover. What do you guys think? Is
Well,
the Matrix? Because I think that the Matrix trailer 1 basically put the Spider-Man first trailer on its ass.
now, Marie asked, speaking of trailers, Marie asked, when do you think we'll get a new trailer if we get one? I think you answered the question how I would answer. I don't think we're getting one, or second one, I should say. Or, I mean, because if you count all the different red pill, blue pill options, you know, variations or whatever, I mean, you know, we kind of in a way got like 9 or 10. So, but yeah, we're creeping up on exactly a month. Like it'll be a month. So we're 5 weeks out. Wow. Shout out to Project Matriculated. We'll get into that later. But it's great. It's crazy to think about. We're only 5 weeks away from this thing. Yeah, so we're only 5 weeks out. And that doesn't mean that we won't get a new trailer, but as secretive as they've been and protective as they've been with the non-disclosures, Project Ice Cream from day one. I mean, you know, we already broke down as much as we could from the variety of trailer tidbits that we did get. I don't think we're getting more. I don't. Who was it? Was it Viewer Anon Geekdom? One of them said like that everything that we saw in the trailers in like the first hour of the movie.
I think there was a viewer anon.
Yeah, I
I
think
think he
that's
said
Viewer
the
Anon.
first act.
So you know, I don't think they're gonna. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think they're gonna give us. I think we're gonna get more. Excuse me. I think we're gonna get more promotional materials like we did today. You know, maybe little by little, something different every Wednesday, or you know, once a week, or you know, maybe once every other week. But now that we're in the 5 week thing, you know, it might be something once a week. Um, you know, what date is the NFT drop?
November 30th. And then I think we can choose a red pill or blue pill for them on like December 12th or something like that.
Right. So you see how that's kind of like already split up about 2 weeks apart, almost 2 weeks apart.
Yeah, they can do their motion picture promotion through their merchandising promotion. It's doubling up. It's like back in the day when I used to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles every day after school. That was a 30-minute commercial for their action figures, and it was counted as such.
And right, and we still don't, because you're somebody who pre-ordered. You still haven't gotten a date for when the Funko Pops come out, right?
No, I didn't, and I might have crossed the NFT dates because they're the two dates with the Funko Pop. So I went back to like Reddit and I went back to the website to see, oh, when the hell am I going to get this thing? And I could not find a date. So I think I just thought it would ship on like the 30th or something like that. But yeah, I still don't know. I assume we'll get an email saying it's shipped or a notification. But we'll see.
Huh. Yeah, no, definitely keep me posted on the details of that. Um, but back to this poster. Shout out to Legacy Zero. He says, "Yo, loving that poster, fam." Yeah, no, it definitely made my day way more interesting than I expected. Like I said, the phone was kind of blowing up, and everybody was making sure I saw it, and I love that energy. Always appreciate that. The streets kind of making sure my ear is to it, and I don't miss anything because of you guys. So that's always cool. Um, right. So in this poster, also, Marie pointed out the Joker-esque color scheme of Morpheus, but the weapon that he's holding, I'm no firearm expert, but I believe that's the same automatic weapon that he's using when he's shooting down the hallway in the trailer.
Yeah, like a SMG.
Right. Like I said, I don't know the model number off the top of my head, but yeah, I believe somebody pointed out that in that scene, his finger is like not on the trigger.
Yeah, just trigger safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was a good pickup. Yeah, never be too safe.
Well, I think my answer was something like, this is Sim Morpheus can, fire guns without pulling the trigger.
That's right. How do we know that? How do we know he's even holding a weapon? Maybe he turns his hand into a weapon like the T-1000.
T-1000.
Well, he's got that like nanotech in the real. You
Right.
know, it's kind of. I guess I don't know, but
Good
yeah,
old Skynet. I would love for there to be a in between the lines Skynet reference. Uh Obviously they can't name drop it straight up, but yeah, that would be a lot of fun for me. Anything that has that kind of uh machine-esque flavored crossover hints would really make my day. Um what's to say here? Okay, yeah, we're gonna come back to that. It says, "Do you guys have any ideas why the official Matrix IG account created a red pill and blue pill IG accounts, but still haven't posted anything in them?" Well, we're not sure, but we did plan on talking about that today. I do want to like get all the poster thoughts out of the way first, though. Um, this says, "What I wonder the most is why the Matrix is more dangerous than before, and why there are still people who want out just can't, who wants out just can't after the piece in the Matrix 3." So the
oh, that's a
answer,
good one.
yeah, the answer that I'm going to give is that I'm going to go out on a limb, and this is all speculation, but I'm going to guess that we're not going to see things in the Matrix Resurrections that erase events of the Matrix Online. I'm not saying that we're going to get these heavy direct Matrix Online references, but I almost expect, which, I try not to have expectations, so that's why I said almost. But it would, to me, be out of character for there to be a whole, section of or information dumping in the Matrix Resurrections that just says, "Oh, we're going to erase the Matrix Online stuff." So that said, there were moments of the Matrix Online where the truce was no longer the truce, and the truce was over. So, assuming that that is still storyline canon, we've already kind of seen scenarios where the quote unquote peace was affected and as far as the machines were concerned, violated. So let's say you can speak to that, Mr. EPN, right? What were y'all doing down there? What's going on?
Oh well, we were kind of hanging out with. We were grouped together with our EMPs and protecting one another, and then after the machines went in and cleared out Zion because the Zionites found it a more fortified hideout, then we went in and cleaned up old Zion. So we had old Zion and new Zion. So, but yeah, EPN, we were used to kind of being a punching bag and a human shield for Zion, but we were extremists, so we were okay with that.
So I think we're ready. I think we kind of covered all the stuff. I mean, you said that you can see some like code stuff going on in the background, blended into the poster itself
Yeah.
here, because it's not like matrix code. Like I see S75N3NA
Hmm.
and a bunch of just regular letters and numbers.
Yeah, so I see some regular letters and numbers. I see some different language characters, and I don't know the language, but I know who to go to on Reddit to find out.
Got the plug, huh?
Oh, this person is brilliant, and I can't recall their name offhand, but we traded some conversation in direct messages, and in the first trailer, he found I think 60 new Matrix characters. Like yeah. So and he was saying that in the original there were only 26 or 28, and now we have 60. So we're thinking this is reminiscent or representative of a new matrix, a different code, something encrypted.
Well, Bugs definitely makes a reference to that. We're going to get to that after this next poster point, but continue.
So this person asked me what I thought of this whole thing, him finding these new characters, and I said it's funny because at the very beginning of Revolutions we see that one different character, and it becomes the map of the megacity for the Matrix Online.
Right.
And it was a single character. It had its own Revolutions poster, and it kind of looks like the Texas Longhorns logo. And we don't know what this is. It's not a character in any language, at least that I can find. And I've done a fair amount of looking. So I'm thinking like, oh well, this is already after Neo has chosen the wrong door, and now even his code is encrypted. Like Link could see him but couldn't tell what it was. So I think that it's Neo fundamentally changing the Matrix. And as a matter of fact, it even could be Sati. Um, but now we have 60 different characters. So I mean, this is underlying big stuff. Uh, very interesting. Like if you want to deep dive, this stuff gets really, really interesting. So the stuff that I'm seeing on the poster here, and I see a couple of spots where characters double up. So, and let me give you an example. If I were to take this cryptogram where I see, I don't know, two of the same character, let's just say it's the number one, um, double up. Then I'm going to look for words where characters double up. So I'll take the word spoon for example, SPOON. If that word is a 5-letter word, then all right, I'm going to look for words where those characters duplicate and repeat, and then I'll try and place the alphabet. And this is, I'm not very deeply skilled at this, but I know just enough to know where to start. So that's probably what I'll be doing later tonight, is trying to pick out some ciphers here on the poster and see if they make any sense, and reach out to the people who know better.
I was gonna say I definitely don't have a code cracker natural born brain, so I'd love to be of assistance, but I'm probably just gonna be slowing you down. But Astro Ice asked, the character to the right of Morpheus is a mystery so far. So I believe everyone is asking about Arundira Ibarra.
And they should be.
Yeah, I mean, well, yes. I'll just leave it at that for now. There was a shot of her and Brian J. Smith from the San Francisco shoots, from the leaks from that part or portion or era of Project Ice Cream. It actually, I believe, is like, because I had like 3 different sets of compilations of like video leaks of people with their cell phone. I think there might have been like a couple of drones. But yeah, the compilation of like all those fan leaks that I put together, there was like 3 videos, and the one that has the thumbnail with her and Brian J. Smith got the most views. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people definitely want to know who she is, who she's playing. She is one of the, in fact, she's the only actor on this poster who carried over from Sense8, from the production and acting crew from Sense8. And then we probably didn't see her in character again until they put out the little interview teaser.
Yep.
And what's always stood out to me in that original picture and in the interview is the hairstyle. Before I go on, is there anything that you wanted to add about Arundira's mysterious character?
Let me take another look here. Okay, so the other things that we know about her, which are very minute details, is the part in the trailer where Neo follows Bugs through the mirror and into kind of what looks to be like a posh hotel. We can see Arundira Bauer's character there. She looks like she has a couple of tattoos that I speculate might be like stars, poking out from like kind of where her shoulder meets her chest. And then
Yeah,
on the
I have the cursor like on those lines that you're talking about.
yep, and on the train scene where it looks like they escape the theater and go onto a train, like in Japan, she is spotted through a screenshot with a tattoo on the back of her neck that looks like a U.S. electrical socket or electrical outlet. So it's kind of looks to me like she's a red pill, possibly with on Bugs's crew.
Yeah, no, like you said, in that trailer shot, it definitely looks like she's supposed to be part of Bugs' crew.
Yeah,
which we guess is the Nemesine.
Yeah,
yeah,
the god of memory. And what else do we know about her? She wears blue, kind of like an aqua green or like a blue in that picture with Brian J. Smith. And the
Right, yeah.
interview, she had that jacket that appeared to be kind of like a darker blue. Very interesting hairstyle, and I really like the glasses too. But that's kind of really all we know about her right now.
So where I'm going with it, and I'm not alone in this, apparently, I think I see Lorenzo echoing where I was going with. He said probably another cipher. He was in the first poster. I believe I have that here. So if you look here, yes, that's the original poster. Now, in this case, the original Morpheus is in between Neo and Cypher. However, Cypher is the furthest back when you're looking at that side.
Yes.
And when you go to this, she's the furthest back on that side. Now, that could be a coincidence, but in my experience with the Matrix franchise, there's not a whole lot of coincidences that don't mean something. But even before this, which a lot of people are noticing today, because I wasn't the only one who said it. Obviously not. Somebody in this live stream said it. So yeah, you're not alone in picking up on that energy. But even way before that, the thing that's always stood out to me with her is the hair. And when we're talking about color schemes and the wild hairdo, the Matrix Online character that popped in my head is Turima, aka Vale. And in the Matrix Online, she was a Zion operative that went Cypherite.
In a big way.
Yeah, she wasn't playing.
So she was originally part of or introduced as part of a crew, which was the Novalis 2. So some of the hovercrafts from the Matrix sequels were recovered and repaired, and so like the Logos was recovered and repaired, and Niobe went on to pilot the Logos 2. same thing with the Novalis. I can't remember the name of the original captain, but the ship was or the crew was made up of characters that players didn't play, but the live events team played. So they were like new characters, but they were official characters.
Speaking of the eye things, I do want to talk about the glasses because I noticed here in the poster, are those the Tom Davies glasses that they're rocking here in the poster?
Is that the person who tweeted out about I was a big Matrix fan and now I designed all the eyewear?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look to be the picture that I saw. It looks to be Neo's glasses
Well, I
at
guess
first glance.
I'll just pull that up just in case people don't know what we're talking about here. So this is Tom Davies on Twitter. He said, I went from being a huge fan of the films to a huge fan who created all the eyewear for the Matrix Resurrections. Stay tuned for more. See the Matrix Resurrections only in cinemas December 22nd, 2021. And what I thought was cool here. So I'm guessing like the code is just on the glasses in the image here, not like actually in the movie, but we'll see. I mean, maybe it like CGI Rain's code when they're looking through it. I don't know. It'd be weird if there's like a they live kind of element to this. But that would be an awesome reference if they did something like that.
Well, with transitions nowadays, you know, if it's sunny, then the code could kind of darken like that. I don't know. That was my pipe dream when I tried to create these, what we called in the Matrix Online awakening glasses.
Well, that's
Oh,
what I
there
was
they
gonna,
are.
yeah, that's what's gonna show. You sent me these a while back. Major shout out to you for that because they're really cool. And if anybody's looking really close, you can see that my name is actually in code there. It says Lazarus. Um, so yeah, I had to share that because my tweet says, looks like you were ahead of the curve on this one because you sent me those like what over a year ago, and you had no idea that they were going to do this promo. So maybe they're watching your Etsy and your your Instagram page,
Yeah,
bro.
maybe I had an idea.
um, real quick, Marie says, please tell me that Neo and Trinity didn't sacrifice themselves in vain. I wouldn't say that it was in vain. I mean, they still prevented Zion from getting slaughtered at the end of Revolutions, because that was definitely plan A as far as the Machine City was concerned. And then when you go to the areas or times or eras of the truce being not the truce anymore in the Matrix Online, where EPN violated the truce as far as the machines were concerned. In the end, there was still a somewhat happy ending. It didn't end on a warring note. It ended on a teamwork note. So I wouldn't say that they sacrificed themselves in vain, but we are going to have to see why they are returning. All right. We already talked about the glasses. Is there any other poster points you wanted to bring up before we moved on? I know Aaron Dira was the big one for me. And I was going to say, yeah, he said he designed all the glasses. And yeah, man, when I was trying to recreate that Bugs cosplay for Project Matriculated, I'm like, where can I get these glasses? Like, there was nothing even remotely close to her glasses anywhere.
Yeah, I think that those glasses are going to help her, and Morpheus wears them in one of the trailers or TV spots as well. I think it's going to help them see the code. So, kind of like in the game, we had those code analyzer tools and data node locator goggles. So I think they're going to be something along the line of those. And the other thing I wanted to point out, which I think is minor, I got to zoom in and look at Trinity's necklace. But the other thing was Neo's. Okay, so overall, the poster kind of looks like that first fan poster where it's just Neo and he's pointing guns to his left and right. So I was a little skeptical when I first saw it. And also, our emulation developer, Ryko, he has a forum signature with a very similar design to like this light pattern that we're seeing behind them. So I actually want to dig that out and kind of do a little side by side comparison. which makes me think that this is I don't know, maybe looking inside the code of a computer, but I don't really know enough about it. But seeing it in two different places makes me think it's something.
Real quick here, I saw something in the comments, and I missed the previous part. I'm behind on the comments, but Sam Houston says the main dev on Matrix Online recently made comments in an interview which seemed to indicate that they weren't thinking that the Matrix was canon would impact future media. I got to assume that you're talking about Rarebit. Feel free to correct me if you're talking about somebody else. Right, but you also have to remember that at that time, the Matrix Online was the future media. Like the Wachowskis didn't plan on making another Matrix movie at that time. That said, even as late as when Rarebit was the sole story writer, even then he still had to, get like things had to be okayed. And he said that the Wachowskis were very specific about he wasn't allowed to write anything or put anything in the story that would break the symbiotic relationship between man and machine. Like that was core and essential to the canon of the Matrix franchise, to the point that you are not allowed to change that. That has to be there. It has to be, an essential element. So the point that I'm making is there were rules, and even though it might have been remote, there was Wachowski involvement, influence, and veto power. That said, like I said before, what I mean by it would be out of character to take the time or put in the effort to erase everything from the Matrix Online. That'd be the opposite of what we've seen in the past. In the past, there's an Animatrix episode or 2 or 3 that have characters that are in the film or background that relates to the film. You have Matrix comics that do the same thing. And in fact, the B1 trial, Bits and Pieces of Information, is the foundation for the Second Renaissance. So that directly turns into an Animatrix episode. Enter the Matrix has cutscenes that line up with scenes in the movie in The Matrix Reloaded. I mean, this is part of the story, and it was designed to be part of the story. Right. So that's my only thing there is, yes, at the time, Rarebit wasn't writing in like this kind of, oh, I'm setting up the Matrix 4. No, he wasn't. He wasn't in that headspace. But it would make sense to me that what we're going to see is at least going to allow that to remain in the universe. I mean, most of the stuff that we see in the Matrix comics, in the Animatrix, even though they let these creatives, these other writers, directors, artists, comic book artists, animators, they let them tell a story within the Matrix universe. Those stories, for the most part, don't clash with the core story. There's not a lot of contradictions or retconning. I mean, there's definitely things that you can raise your eyebrow and say, well, what does this mean for this? But there's not like these hard contradictions or hard, oh, that didn't happen or this can't happen because we just wrote this over here, like you see in some other franchises. So yeah, I can leave that at that. I think I made my point there.
And also, I think trying to fit this all into what happens in the trilogy is going to hinder your experience. Okay, the Matrix is bigger than just the films. They purposely made it that way. They put a lot of stock into the Matrix. They put a lot of stock into the Matrix Online, and I just don't see them like hamstringing themselves that way to say, well, it's just going to be the movies. I think that they're going to consider everything. I think everything just has space around it where it's not going to be contradicted by anything else. There's a couple of Animatrix shorts that we don't know where they fit in the timeline. They could be anywhere. They could be future versions, or they could be former versions of the Matrix, and it doesn't really matter. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, Sam actually says here that he was Leasig, so shout out to you for participating. What server were you on, if you don't
Yeah,
mind
who
me
is your
asking?
main? Who is your main, and who was your Lasig, and were you in the champagne room?
What you know about the champagne room? There's no
We
sex
know
allowed
what's
in the
not.
champagne room.
Yeah, we know what's not in the champagne.
Abdul Aziz says, "How accurate do you think World of Geekdom's plot leak will be?" So what we've said in the past is, he's getting, at least he claims that it's from somebody telling him what they saw. So there's an element of telephone game there, and then I would like to add that I believe there's an element of the Matrix universe. If you didn't dive to the bottom of the rabbit hole, so to speak, there are things that might not make sense in first viewing. If this guy only saw it once and then ran over to him and told him what he saw, I think a lot of things could have been lost in translation. So I just don't take everything as the gospel that came out of that leak. I mean, even when we had Viewer Anon in there, he was saying, he felt a different way about certain things, or interpreted things in a different way. So, and that's the thing with this franchise, a lot of things are left open to interpretation. So,
Yeah, I would say fairly accurate, but we were told there's no agents. We see agents. We clearly see agents in the trailer. We were told that there's no Sati or Oracle, and we see Priyanka Chopra. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's Sati.
Kevion Davis says, if the Matrix Resurrections successful, I wish the Matrix 5 is going to come out soon, as do we. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Dune 2 will probably come out first if it plays out that way. But what I will say is, since Dune was also the theatrical HBO Max simultaneous release, and that's already been greenlit for part 2. And we've seen the article where the CEO, I believe it was CEO in Warner, right, said if Lana wants to make more, we'll make more.
Oh yeah.
So, signs are pointing in the right direction.
Respect.
You know, and Sam says he thinks he was Madarax on Recursion. Weren't you? Were on Recursion, right?
Yeah, I was on Recursion. I didn't ever interact with Madarax, but I just remember seeing the name.
Yeah, but he said it was like 15 years ago, so there's that.
Come
Yeah,
on.
now he sounds like Cypher. I don't remember nothing.
But I
Boy.
remember Vesuvius. I was Q for Q on Vector Enumerator, and I DJ'd for Exile Radio Network. Yeah, Q for Q. So you were a big deal, man. You were a star on the forums.
I was gonna say, is Exile Radio Network, was that like a Recursion thing? I mean, I guess I only really heard of Radio Free Zion anyway, but
Yeah, there was Awakened Radio. There was a fair amount. Catsy Radio from Syntax.
So, oh right, I forgot all about this. We've got to go over this clip here. Although we did discuss that the audio was in one of the trailers, we believe, but I did want to play this for the class real quick. Marie said, just a little question: when the other ones rebooted the Matrix, did they die in the process? I'm talking about the 5 previous ones. I forget where I had this conversation recently, probably the Discord, but okay, so the main thing. Oh, actually, you know what? It might have been on the community tab here on YouTube. But yeah, the 5 previous ones are never named, right? They're never identified by name. So I think that there's a very common assumption that the 5 previous ones were like Keanu Reeves over and over again, and I'm not on that team. I don't think that that's how it necessarily played out. To answer your question specifically, if you believe in the prophecy as the way Morpheus tells it to Neo in the original Matrix film, you would be led to believe that the one helped started rebuild Zion, or in his words, build Zion, or whatever, because he thinks it's the first time this is happening, and then died as an old man in Zion. Yeah, that's not how the architect really words that. So I'm thinking that, he selects, what is it, 16 and 8? No, 16 and 7. What is it?
Uh, yeah, I gotta like go through it. It's
I think it's 16 and
17.
I think it's 16 and 7. I think it's 23 people total. Whatever. He
Yeah,
selects the
23.
people that he selects the 23 people that are going to restart Zion or rebuild Zion. And where did we find that little nugget that said that they were genetically engineered to like minimize inbreeding?
Yes, that was in the archive, I believe.
Right. So he selects those 23, and Machine City makes sure that they're not inbreeding. But yeah, based on that, based on the architect, once you reset the matrix, that's it. You're gone. So I don't think that the one is allowed to finish out his real world life in Zion. I don't think that's how it played out for the 5 previous ones. To that point, though, I know the Wachowskis in one interview said that they did want to explore, a story of one of the previous ones. So I'd love to see, that and how that would play out. I think it would answer a lot of questions that we have about it.
Well, I'll say this: it was 23 individuals, 16 female, 7 male.
There you go.
So if we add, say, Neo, we'll just call him Neo. If we add Neo to that mix, it is a perfect 2-to-1 ratio, 2 females to 1 male. So does the one have blood descendants in Zion?
That's what I'm saying. I don't. If you're going off of the way Morpheus tells the story, then yeah. But I don't think so. I think that those 23 that you picked, that the previous ones picked, is it. Because if not, then you have 24. I don't think that's how it works. I think he picks, and then
And
he's
then steps
reset.
back?
Yeah, he will return to the source. Like, bye. Um,
I think he gets busy and that's how he dies.
um, Okay, Lorenzo says, speaking of music, we need 10K subs so that we can get that music from the early videos you posted. So for those of you who don't know, because this was like a conversation we had in the comments in an old video, and I was corrected because the video we had to comment on, like when I get a notification, which is rare with YouTube, that the notifications come in properly. And I've actually been told that from people, saying that they've missed live streams because they're on notification gang. They hit the bell and they're not getting notified when stuff's going live. So like I said, YouTube's comments engine has always been trash. So make sure you're following me and Vesuvius on Instagram, Twitter more specifically for this conversation, because we've been really good about tweeting out before we have a live stream. It's the day of because we got to do this last minute. But yeah. So anyway, in this comment section of an old video, it was one of those old videos from like 2008 or when the game was still live. So yeah, and those videos, some of the music in those super old videos of us just playing the game, some of that music isn't original, but everything since we've been analyzing and breaking down the Matrix universe, it's either something I did or a collaboration with somebody. So yeah, what he's talking about in this comment that I've highlighted here is I was thinking about doing like a channel membership thing, but from my research, it doesn't really make sense to do it till you're like closer to 10K subs. So that's what he's talking about. We got to get to 10K subs so I can start putting that music out for everybody to I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the channel membership stuff. So on the back end, I don't know how all that works, but I definitely would be willing to share those instrumentals over there with anybody who was over there. If we hit 6K subs before the Matrix Resurrections comes out, I have a treat for you guys. But we shall see. That's only 5 weeks, so we got some sledding to go. I think it's still just over 5K. I mean, things slowed down over the last couple weeks, but with the hype train back on schedule with this poster drop today, we'll see.
Well, I've seen an uptick on traffic on my little YouTube channel, so you probably are getting a lot more.
Well, we shall see.
And,
Views do not necessarily equal subs. That's one thing I've learned over these past 2 years.
Also, I sent you on Discord Raiko's signature. So I don't know if you want to throw it up and see if you see what I see with the background of that new poster that we got. And
I do see it. There we go.
I'm looking up some stuff for Sam, Q for Q, and I found the old Lasig list, and there was a character named Nemesine.
Yeah, remember, I think I pointed that out to you when we first got that leak about the Nemesine plaque.
Yep.
Where? Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how to get this on the screen, the thing that you showed me. So let me go back to the poster because that's here, and then let me see. Will be the easiest way to do this. What is that? Is that the poster? Yeah, we already got the poster. We don't need that. Trying to figure out the easiest way to share this. Oh, right. Got it. It's kind of small, so we shall do our best to make it visible here. So this is the signature that you're talking about. Is it on the screen? No? There we go. See if I can blow it up a little bit. Now, what is that? Like some hackers? Yeah, those are like chips, right? It's like an actual.
It looks like computer code to me.
See, I'm seeing like a motherboard or like computer chips. You have to ask him. You have to ask him what it is.
I'm going to now. You got to know. I got to know because it looks to me like the background is similar to this, and I want to know the meaning.
Okay, so John asks, "What's your Discord link?" I don't have a Discord. It's not my Discord. It's the Discord for the Matrix Online emulator. So I believe that's mxoemu.info.
Yeah, I'll put it in.
Now let's get to this other promotional post from today. So this is pinned to the Matrix Resurrections official Twitter page.
See, come in.
Looks like old code.
It feels really familiar.
Drop a pin. I'll signal for backup. Did you hear that? I think our signal was traced. Bugs, this feels like a trap.
I'm gonna check it out.
The Matrix Resurrections, rated R.
So yeah, I believe he said drop a pin.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the same audio that we got from the first TV spot, and I thought that she called him Snake or Zeke or something like that.
Okay, this comment here says it's obviously not always Keanu because the Neo on the screens are the potential reactions of the one by the architect, and they are way more than 5, so it's not the previous one. No, I agree that the screen is supposed to be showing Keanu's potential reactions and not the previous ones for sure. I do hear that. I've definitely heard many people, not many, but multiple people say, "Oh, those are the previous ones on the screen." I don't think so. Okay, so the next thing that they tweeted, right? So they put out the poster. They gave us this, I guess, remixed trailer 30-second spot, right? And in that spot, it reminded me how much they have Bugs parallel with Trinity, and we still got to figure out what's that scene where Trinity screams and Bugs is in those kind of digital shadows there, right?
Yeah, it's like when you used to play Ninja Gaiden and you'd have the shadow that follows you. She's
that's a
getting her
throwback.
powers.
I was definitely a Shinobi guy, by the way.
You had a Sega, that's why.
But right. So then the other thing that they posted was this thing where you we're not there yet. It says if you liked this post, where is it? It says if you like this post, you'll get notifications or whatever. So of course I liked it. And then it says, request for simulation removal accepted. Simulation start date September 2011, and then removal immediate. So September 2011 was when I created that Twitter account. So it's clearly a bot, which is why I replied back with the Taskmaster and 01. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I do like the interactive element to a lot of this promotional strategy. I know everybody wants another trailer, but like I said, with them trying to keep the plot somewhat a mystery, I think they feel like the interactive element is the focal point. And speaking of, we can use that to transition to the whole red pill, blue pill Instagram conversation. They still have 0 followers. They're still not following anybody. They still have 0 posts. The blue pill is everything is fine, and the red pill is see what's real. Did you want to? I mean, we don't know what it is, but I think me and you are speculating along the same lines as to what we think it's going to be. What do you think here?
Well, I actually got that from you on Discord, so
Okay.
I'm kind of agreeing, and I mean, I agree because it makes good sense. So, I mean, you can take the lead on that. It's your idea.
So, what I was thinking, and of course, I don't think I have a picture. Well, we have. Where was it? Here. So on November 2nd, the Matrix Resurrections official Twitter retweeted the Nifty's tweet about the Matrix NFTs. And part of that promotion is, like you said, I'm getting the dates messed up, but I think you said December 3rd is when people were allowed to buy it. And then I believe on December 12th, you're supposed to pick the red pill or the blue pill. So my thinking was that these Instagram accounts are related to that promotion somehow, and maybe it might be something like the NFTs who pick blue pill will have their image on the blue pill page, and NFTs that pick red pill will have their picture on the red pill page. Something along those lines was the idea that I had based on those things being posted around the same time. Actually, I think the red pill, blue pill accounts went up first, but maybe like a week or two before that, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I found out about them about a week after, I think through one of the Instagram groups that we're in. Now, I mean, it's just nice to see that they do seem to be pretty interactive on Twitter and on Instagram. And now we got these multiple accounts, and even though they're bots, they're still interactive. So, and plus there was the reaction that I believe we did another live video where they reacted to Zuckerberg's announcement of Meta, and they just re-released a poster saying, "Oh, now it's based on actual events."
Yeah, I forgot where I saw it. I saw something. I think it was with the NFT thing that said something Meta. Oh yeah, here it is. It says Epic on November 30th, collect your Matrix avatars exclusively on Nifty's, created by Nifty's and Warner Brothers, and made using Epic Games Meta Human Creator. So there's a meta reference. I'm hoping that that's as far as it goes. I'm really going to be mad if the metaverse is connected to this in any way, shape, or form. So I'm hoping that's the real world events that they're talking about is the metahuman creator. Right, and then it says these NFTs bring to life this iconic franchise in a whole new way. Follow the White Rabbit. Did you decide? Are you getting one?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get one. We'll see. We'll see what it's gonna be like.
Yeah, I gotta see it roll out. I'm not committing one way or the other, but
Well, there's only 100,000. You gotta get it like midnight. You know, the 29th. I'm staying up till midnight and see if I can get one. And if it's gonna be pay to play, like a you have to nickel and dime to do anything. I don't know that I'll stick with it, but it's Matrix related, so I am in.
Yeah, I don't. Well, we'll see. I mean, because I think it's a fair price point. I think $50 is a fair price point. But I'm looking at this 45K followers. Conversion rate wise, they're not going to have 100% conversion. I don't know that 100,000 people are going to buy it in one night, but I could be wrong. We could definitely have a quick sellout. I mean, what I'm saying, like the 20th anniversary edition comics sold out, but that took several months. I don't know how many they printed either, though.
Well, I think they did a second printing, and the second printing sold out. I just don't know the numbers of the first or second printing.
Okay, so before we move on, I got to address this because I think this is one of those takes that I just can't co-sign. So he said, "Can we even trust the Zion Archives video? Wouldn't they be from the machines?" They're absolutely from the machines. She said, "This is, the instructor says this is the Zion Archive," and I think that is the important part to take away from it. It's from them when the machines still occupied Zion. That's the takeaway. Not that it's propaganda. To me, the propaganda take makes no sense. The humans they haven't seen that. If they saw it, Morpheus wouldn't say, "We don't know who struck first," because they have it on video. Whether it's propaganda or not, it's not acknowledged by Zion, the human Zions, because they've never seen it. It's not for them. It's a knowledge base for the machines. And that connection to me is the proof that the machines gave the humans Zion and that they were in it first, that they were there when when mankind was dropping the nukes on 01. That was their bunker, or one of many bunkers.
Zion was their bunker?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this, and there's like a really interesting featurette on the 10 discs DVD of like the design of Zion and how it mirrors the pods of the tower, the power plant towers. It's basically like an inverted design. It's really cool.
Right, you're talking about how they have all those crossways and
yes,
that shot, that overhead shot of Zion.
Yes, yeah, it's really cool. So who designed Zion? The machines must have.
Right. You're just going off of pure mirror of design visuals, which is there as well. But there's circumstantial evidence. There's no straight dialogue line that says it, but I believe that there's enough circumstantial evidence to make that connection, especially when you factor in that the architect tells Neo, "Hey, dude, we destroyed it 5 times already. We're going to do it again, and then we're going to put somebody else in there to start over." So if they're doing that, it only makes sense that they put the first group there as well. But anyway, we digress. Actually, I think we might have covered all the promotional materials because we did the glasses earlier than I had scheduled.
Do you want to talk about that music contest?
Right. I knew there was something. Well, I don't have it up on the screen here. But what was it? What's it? United? What is it?
Masters? Masters United or United
Yeah,
Masters?
yeah. It's unitedmasters.com. So there was a tweet, excuse me, an Instagram post. Right, the Matrix movie posted it too, so it's definitely official.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. One moment here. So here, this post on the Matrix movie official Instagram page says United Masters enters the Matrix Resurrections. So basically, you read the comment or the post or caption, whatever, and they said it's like, I think it's like 15K prize. You know, they're buying out your royalties, but it's supposed to be for a promotional ad. Right. They didn't say another trailer. They just said promotional ad. So we are going to get more promo over the next month. That we can use it for that. It's good for that. It's good to determine that. But basically, it's a contest, an online contest, and you know, somebody tagged me in it, so I went and checked it out. But yeah, the submission process was not user friendly at all. I mean, like at all. I didn't even get like to a point where I could see that I was submitting to that contest. And then when I went back to the post on Instagram, in the comment section, I saw somebody post that it's $60 to enter. Now, again, I personally never got that far, so that could be wrong for all I know. But the fact that I couldn't get that far on my own was like, all right, I'm not doing this. I've personally have had bad experiences with music contests in the past, online music contests. There's just been some like very shady practices as far as the selection process, and I didn't even see details on the selection process with this. So I was like, I don't know. But it's out there if anybody wants to submit music. That is definitely Matrix Resurrections promotional news. So I'm glad you remembered that because I forgot all about it. So, okay, the odd one says, what's so special about NFT avatars? I don't want to turn this into an NFT debate. I honestly don't know. I mean, I know I get the blockchain authentication side of it. I understand how that works. But, you know, this debate is like a popular debate right now. I don't really want to get into details of that. However, he said, but $50 for a digital collectible, that's too much. I actually think that that's a fair price point. And I'm only saying that I think it's a fair price point because I've personally paid, you know, freelance artists to draw logos, you know, and create logos, digital logos. And, you know, it can range from anywhere from, you know, $30 up, you know, these days, I think is normal. And, you know, I paid more than 50 for some. So from that aspect, you know, when you factor in the digital authentication side, I think it's actually pretty fairly priced. Now, because it's a collectible, I'd love to believe that, you know, when I'm looking for a retirement home, you know, that I'll be able to sell my unique Generation 1 Matrix Resurrections avatar for, you know, some crazy amount of money so I can put my feet up in some cushy retirement home. But I don't think it's going to play out that way. But, you know, a $50 buy-in, like I said, I got to see it. I got to see what I'm getting, because from my understanding, it's not like we get to design our own avatars. Like if we got to design our own avatar like Matrix Online, I would have no problem saying I'm dropping $50 for this thing. But I don't believe that's how it works. So with that being the case, I got to see what it looks like and go from there. You know, because like if we're gonna get some random character and like it's like totally randomized and I could get anything, you know, that I might not be okay with. Like if I don't even have a say in which one I'm buying, that would be a problem for me.
Yeah, I get it. That's a concern. I think I'm willing to take a chance. I don't know that I'm going to enjoy it, but this will be a first for me. You know, I never played online games until the Matrix Online came around, and I didn't play any online games after the Matrix Online went away. So it was back to 8-bit Nintendo. But considering it's Matrix, I'll willing to go along.
So it looks like you guys were having a conversation inside the chat that I missed, because Marie says he has an in-game model and was dubbed by Keanu Reeves. I don't know what that's in reference to.
That Neo had an in-game model? I don't know that he did.
Yeah, Astro says as far as the NFTs, it's randomly generated supposedly, but I think you can pick from among them. So yeah, like I said, if I have a choice in what I get to buy, then it might work for me. But if it's just like, here's your totally random character, that might be a no for me, dog. So yeah, I'm glad you remembered that. What else? What other news do we have here? Is that everything? Oh, right. So the next thing is, well, you posted on Reddit, right? The link to the video, Project Matriculated, but also the actual event is up on Eventbrite. So the tickets are live, and yeah, man, I'm really excited. Just I've been, like I said, today I was working on some of the promotional materials for the promoters and stuff, and that's when everything started going crazy with the poster. But yeah, man, it's like just talking to people about it, and like I'm like really getting excited. It's crazy. It's just everything kind of snowballing. The movie's coming out, and it just and then we're premiering Beyond the Glitch, and it's just a lot for one day. I mean, these next 5 weeks are gonna kick my ass. But yeah, that said, one thing I've been trying to get better with, because I'm just the type of person that always is used to doing everything by themselves. I realized that as big as this thing is, that this is not something I can do by myself. So again, like I said, I was dealing with some promoter material stuff today, but I know not everybody who listens can make it or attend. However, if you are interested in promoting the event, we're hiring promoters, so definitely reach out to me. You can send me a DM on Instagram or Twitter, and I can go over all the details with what comes with that. But yeah, man, teamwork makes the dream work, and I definitely appreciate all your help. I mean, you designed the flyer, and I mean the help that you've given this channel in general is something that I can't even measure at this point. So thank you for being so helpful with everything that we're doing here. But yeah, it's live. The tickets are on sale now. We are going to be partying like it's 1999 on December 22nd.
Yeah, can't wait. Well, it's going to be a good time. It'll be fun to meet for the first time.
So I think Lorenzo said we're talking about Enter the Matrix, so I guess she's talking about a Neo in-game model. Keanu Reeves.
Well, that was always the rumor. And I had always heard that no, there is not a Neo model in the game whatsoever. So to learn that there is after all these years would be pretty juicy.
Okay, right. That's Enter the Matrix, not Path of Neo. Gotcha. Yeah, chalk it up to success. As the Matrix poster looks fresh, and it absolutely does. I'm very, very, very excited to see.
Yeah, the more I look at it,
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely down for Neo and Trinity, but I'm really curious about what these other three characters are up to. And even like looking at it now, I mean, Jessica Henwick's got the eyebrow hook thing going on, but and Yaya has the serious face because he's holding the gun. But Aaron Deere definitely looks like she's up to something there in the cut in the background.
she looks like she's looking at Neo,
but plotting with the scheme,
hard.
with the scheming look though.
And Henwick looks like she's kind of looking over at Trinity.
Right, and I'm very, very curious about the connections there, because we've got the parallel of the phone call, we've got the Ninja Gaiden Shadow power up. You know, there's a lot going on between those two apparently. And the other thing that I'm really curious about, not that I expected her to be in this poster, but we haven't really seen any Ellen Hallman.
No, we haven't, but she's been active on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Was she in
commented-
the interview trailer? You know, like that? Was she in that promo? No, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And she definitely, you know, she's a jujitsu.
She's a blue belt.
Right. I knew she wasn't a black belt, but she shared the video of training for the Matrix 4. So she's in it. It's not like she just had, you know, it's not like a Christina Ricci thing where she might only have like 2-3 lines. You know what I mean? Like, she's in it. But where?
Yeah, where she was doing that. She was doing some pretty complicated moves, from like jumping attacks into like takedowns into submissions, all in one swift motion. Very difficult stuff, and she's got talent. She's very athletic, and considering she's a jiu-jitsu blue belt, when I do ever make my way out to California, it will be my goal to get on and walk through that studio and see
8711.
Is it? Well, she's also at a studio. She's at a Gracie Academy, and I think Keanu Reeves is at a different studio, a different jiu-jitsu academy. But yeah, I would love to get on the mat with the one.
Okay. No, I mean, I don't, that part of where they, you know, practice jujitsu versus the training
for
for
films.
stunts, right? Yeah, that I don't know the details of, but like I said, when you're training for films, I know that she said that, you know, Keanu is in 8711, and then that she'd run into him many times, that, you know, that's actually how she got the gig, not running into Keanu, but running into Lana, because Lana was there. So yeah, 87 is definitely, or excuse me, 8711 is definitely a hub for those guys. Yeah, the odd one says she was great in Spartacus. I haven't actually seen that, but I have heard good things.
Yeah, I heard good things. The lead in Spartacus passed away tragically after season 1, so they had to switch it up for season 2. Yeah, that was quite the downer.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the Iron Fist came up. Actually, we were talking about Jessica Jones, because, you know, Carrie-Anne Moss is in Jessica Jones, and I made the mistake of watching Jessica Jones first and then the Defenders. So in the Defenders, you have Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist. And Iron Fist is the show that Jessica Henwick was the co-star of. And yeah, man, I should have saved the best for last. Like, by the time I got through Defenders, like, I just couldn't get into any of the other 3. I really enjoyed Jessica Jones, and I even like the Defenders. But yeah, with Iron Fist, like, I definitely felt like Jessica Henwick was carrying, like, she was doing the heavy lifting, man. Like, the main character I wasn't buying him at all. He just wasn't believable for me. But Jessica was awesome.
Yeah, I had heard that. I heard he was not a very good actor, and I think maybe just hired on for the stunts. But yeah, Jessica Henwick carried that series. I didn't watch it, but my wife did watch it. I did watch Daredevil. Tried to get into Jessica Jones, but I don't know, it was just a little... There was not enough Carrie-Anne Moss in there, so I did not finish that. Yeah, because when she was on screen, I was like, yo...
I'm not going to remember her name now that we are talking about it, but the actress that actually plays Jessica, I like her. Not gonna remember her name off the top of my head though. But back to Jessica Henwick and Iron Fist. Like, I guess, man, I don't know that it was necessarily that it was a terrible actor. Maybe it was a terrible character, which made it easier to be a terrible actor. I don't know. Like, I felt like whether it was his acting or the writing, everything that that people that I know who complain about Bruce Wayne, like everything that's wrong with Bruce Wayne was that character. He's just like this spoiled rich kid that you don't really believe would be a superhero.
Well, I don't really get that from Bruce Wayne.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've heard that complaint from people who like, oh, I don't like Batman, and I say why, and then that's why. Like that's almost
okay.
always the answer.
Okay. Well,
I didn't have a problem with the Batman character. In fact, I kind of like the fact that he wasn't superhuman or an alien or had superpowers.
they probably only watched the 1966 Batman series. Because if you literally watch anything else, you see his parents killed, him traumatized, and so on and so forth.
There we go. I missed it. It scrolled. Kristen Ritter, thank you.
Yes, the girlfriend from Breaking Bad. She was good. She was good in that series.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes, she was. That was also a very good show. And I've liked all the supplements that go with it. The Jesse Pinkman movie that was it El Camino?
Yeah.
And then Better Call Saul. Yeah, those were pretty good supplemental series and stuff and movie. And he also says, I meant Jessica Henwick was more central on Iron Fist later, just for clarification. Yeah, I believe it. I just didn't make it past season 1 on my own. Like I said, I should have watched the other ones first. I should have like started with Daredevil and then did Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and then the Defenders. But I did not. I screwed up on that one. But yeah, no, I'm trying to think because I tried to watch some stuff like just to get more familiar with the actors that I wasn't familiar with. You know, you got like half the Sense 8 cast in Matrix Resurrections. So, you know, Aaron Ibarra, Brian J. Smith, Max Reinfeldt, Toby Onramir. I'm like, all right, all you guys are good. You guys are already passed. But you know, Yaya before this project, I hadn't seen a lot of stuff of. Jessica Henwick, I think I only knew from Game of Thrones prior to the Matrix 4 being announced. So, you know, I tried to watch some stuff. I watched The Get Down, which had Yaya in it. He's also in the new Candyman. He was on The Watchmen on HBO, that series. So, you know, he's he's a rising star. He's actually been moving up pretty fast and for good reason.
Yeah, he was in The Greatest Showman as well. He had a pretty small part opposite Zendaya.
Right, and I've heard good things about that, but I haven't seen it. Right, but
It's not a great movie, but it's a fun movie.
Well, that's the thing. It's funny you said that because I was going to jump over to Priyanka Chopra. Because I don't know if you remember when she got announced. I mean, there was a whole section of Priyanka haters that were livid. I mean, the vitriol that I saw on the Twitter feed was intense. So apparently, go ahead.
Haven't heard any hate about her lately, and particularly after her appearance in the trailer.
Yeah, I never really tracked the source of it. From what I can tell, there was like an old Bollywood beef with a major actress over there, and then there's like some, you know, Indian political stuff that I don't know, you know, the politics. I mean, I don't really pay attention to politics in this country, so I definitely don't know what's going on halfway around the world. But yeah, but right. So, but I did end up seeing a couple things that she was in. I'm trying to remember, was it? Now, of course, I'm not going to remember the name of it, but it was, you know, she plays the FBI agent. So I saw that. So that was something that she was more serious in. And then the other thing I saw was the more recent Netflix movie with the kid superheroes. And I'm not going to remember the title of that off the top of my head either. But like I said, that was more fun. It was like obviously a kid's movie. So I felt like I couldn't grade her performance on that. You know, I felt like for a kid's movie, she definitely was in that space. But you know, seeing her in whatever television series where she's the FBI agent, like they're, you know what I mean, it's apples and oranges. You can't really compare them. So I would say that I would have imagined that the agent performance or role would have been closer to whatever she was doing in the Matrix Resurrections, but then we see the trailer and I'm like, oh, well, it's not going to be that either. So hopefully this will be an opportunity to show her range.
Was it Quantico?
Quantico is
that
it? Ding, ding, ding.
And she was also in Baywatch.
Yeah, that doesn't count though.
All right.
I mean, it's the Baywatch movie, not the show. Carrie-Anne
Yes,
had the cameo in the original 90s Baywatch show. Carrie-Anne Moss was in that. In an episode of that, rather.
Yeah. Forgotten about that.
With the curly curls. The odd one says Chopra voted for Moody, who is the Indian Trump. So there goes the political history. Yeah. He said Yaya was in Candyman, was good in Candyman, but that movie was so. Yeah. I'm a Tony Todd fan. The movie was kind of not what I thought, where I thought they were gonna go with it. But like I said, I think Yaya's doing a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing his version of Morpheus and that being defined for us. Yeah, he said, it was the Shark Boy and Lava Girl sequel movie. That movie was a drag.
I just looked up her IMDb and I didn't see that, so maybe she dropped it.
This is Priyanka?
Yeah.
Wait, so hold on. Because it was a Netflix original. Right, and the White Tiger was the big one. We Can Be Heroes. And that's also got Pedro Pascal in it. He's one of the heroes.
Yeah, The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. Who was also in that dumpster fire Wonder Woman 1984. But he's great as Mando.
Yes, he is.
So, right. I think last time we did the live stream, we talked a little bit about your audiobook that's live now on your Etsy. What is the next project that you're working on here?
I'm pushing some merch for the holidays. So I got a Matrix Christmas coffee mug.
Yeah, the mug's awesome. I like the mug.
So actually, I put an ad out for that. That'll be my first Google ad. Everything's been word of mouth up till now. So the other things I've been pushing was just a little unboxing. I ordered some of my stuff, some samples off of Teespring, and just kind of showed it off. And one design I was happy with, and the other one not so much. So I switched it up, and confident that will come out better. So the Resurrections shirt with the code bit spelling out Res, which is actually a callback to the Matrix Online, because you being a Vector PvPer, you know that when somebody gets killed in Mara Central, what they ask for, which is Res, please.
Those are big facts. So for anybody who didn't play the game, basically a healer could res you or bring you back to life when you got killed without you having to go back to the loading area. So that's what that means.
Yeah, so it's the Resurrections Old English t-shirt and another Matrix Online inspired of the Hypercube Monument.
Yeah, and like you said, he definitely has an unboxing of those items on his channel. You just posted that maybe a day or two ago, right?
Yeah, about 2 days ago.
Very cool. So like I said, over here, I'm just buried in Project Matriculated organization. Like I said, we're pretty much there's only like one thing that I'm waiting for in terms of post for Beyond the Glitch. So once I get that, I'll just throw it in there. Everything else for that part of the game is ready to go. which is just like still kind of weird to me to think about it. Like when I wrap my head around like having made a short film. Yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait to share it with you guys. And obviously, we're going to have it on screen at Project Matriculated. That's going to be the only time that it's going to be shared in that way, at least, on the big screen, so to speak. But the plan right now is to set it as a premiere to go live at midnight, I think is how that's going to play. So you guys should be able to see it. If you're not there with us, you should be able to see it as soon as it becomes December 23rd. I think that's how that's going to play out. But for those of you who have been asking about the face reveals of Vesuvius and I, that is where you could go to meet us in the real. In part it's almost like an MXO meetup for some of us, but yeah, that's out there. It's out in the ether. The whole brainchild was a Twitter conversation that is now being manifested into a real world situation. So I do hope that some of you guys can make it to come party with us. Again, the links to Project Matriculated will be in the description. It should be there already. But Vesuvius, thanks. He just dropped it in the chat there too. It's pinned on my Twitter, I believe. Yeah, this is the pinned comment here. And right, because I invited like everybody from the Matrix that I could think of who's on Twitter. And I think, yeah, a couple of them liked it. Of course, I don't have any confirmation that anybody's coming, but I thought it was cool that they were, willing to support the tweet and the idea. So yeah, I think, right, because we're at the 1.5 hour mark. And this was definitely a live stream of the freestyle variety. We just kind of came into this thing going off of all the hype that was experienced today through the poster. And I'm glad we got to share these raw reactions with you guys. Okay, I got to address this because this keeps coming up. Well, first, you give your thoughts. It says, am I the only one that wished they would have released Matrix 4 in January? Spider-Man is a juggernaut and possibly going to stifle M4's box office success. I hear this a lot. So you go first.
So I think that Spider-Man will top the box office for the year. And I don't know where we stand to date, but I do think Spider-Man is big. However, I think it's got a couple of things working against it. I think the second trailer didn't particularly help. I think with the time travel and the multiverse getting more and more complicated, I think some people are going to start tuning out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think that the Matrix, with what I've seen so far with the marketing, the interactive stuff, it's a lot more intriguing than Spider-Man. It really is. And it's rated R. It's rated R. So, plus, it being so close to Christmas, a lot of people are going to have that time off. So they'll drop in. Of course, they'll probably see Spider-Man as well, but this is a movie season. So I think that the box office is going to be okay. I am worried about the dual release, but I think with Dune, like we touched on, Dune doing well and getting greenlit for a sequel already, I think that looks good for the Matrix Resurrections.
Yeah, no, I think you brought up a very great point, and I don't know how popular this is in terms of like the general Marvel community. I'm kind of over here in my Matrix bubble, but yeah, man, I feel like they are beating that multiverse, alternate universe horse to death, bringing it back to life, killing it again, taking it to an alternate universe, killing it again, bringing it back in time, killing it another time. Like, I'm just over it, like I think what was it, the What If series? Like, it looked good on paper, but I thought I thought most of the stories were really flat. Like, the animation was great, but again, I'm at the point where I'm just like, more multiverse babble. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, Yeah, as far as Spider-Man, the whole rated R thing, I think that the demographics don't overlap as much as people think. I mean, there is some overlap. I mean, obviously we're having this conversation, but to your point, I totally agree that the dual release, the cinematic and HBO Max release, is more of the issue than having to compete with Spider-Man on that day in the box office. Right? Because Spider-Man isn't going to have any streaming release, right?
No, it's not.
Right.
I
So
think
so
it's
it's
going to be like 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks before it goes on to Disney Plus, and that's a shared Sony property, so it might be different, might be
right.
longer.
So it's PG-13. It's Disney, and it's not going to have its own streaming service competition. So of course the box office numbers are going to be better. You'd expect the box office numbers to be better, just on the nature of it being a Marvel IP. But that said, like, yeah, I think the bigger threats or the bigger problems or the bigger issues for the Matrix's box office numbers is the same pandemic that's affected everybody's box office numbers and the streaming release. I think those are going to be what have the numbers way lower than you would have expected in a normal situation. But like you said, with the whole Dune conversation and Lana can make a movie whenever she wants conversation, I'm not too worried about it. I don't think it's going to slow anything down as far as future projects. Yeah, we want them to be successful, but I also don't know how or if it's even possible to track the streaming metrics, because I know I'm included. A whole bunch of people signed up to HBO Max just for that movie. Now, what I did was I waited for the Many Saints of Newark, and then I'm letting my subscription carry over. Because I think what that came out October. Yeah, I think that was like October 1st. So I will have had HBO Max for 3 months just for the Matrix Resurrections. Now, after that, we'll see if I keep it. I'm probably going to drop it, though. So that's part of it in terms of the math of subscriptions, who stays, who goes. But either way, you get the point that I'm making, that they're still making money from the release or from the streaming side of the release. So we'll see. We'll see how the numbers play out. I just don't feel this whole like looming Spider-Man threat. It'd be different if it was like, Justice League or Batman or Superman or another comic book movie dropping on the same day. And even though there are Matrix comics, I just don't see them being quite the same space.
Yeah, the other thing that is in favor for the Matrix is that Warner Brothers has nominated it for awards for the award season, and I think it just won an award as well. Something like
How does that work? Like the movie's not out yet. How does that work?
I was hoping you knew. It was and probably somebody in the chat knows the details. I'm not going to get get it. I'll get it close, but I won't get it right on. It was something to do with filming locations in California, which tells me it's tourist driven.
Well, the other thing I'm thinking is maybe they have to like submit it for nomination. That might be a part of the step of the process that's getting the headlines. They're saying, "Oh, this is a movie we'd like you to vote on." I don't know how that part of the process works, though. I don't know how they put the names in the hat that they then nominate. Like, was it like the Grammys has this whole weird process, like, so that part of the game, I'm not sure how that works. But hopefully we'll be learning soon. I mean, now that we've entered the the realm of filmmaking.
No, but it looks good. It looks like it's going to be a good action movie. We're going to get the explosions that I want, and we're going to get some more Matrix. So,
yeah, he chalk it up to success. Says Matrix 4 did already win an award. It's like, huh? What?
Yeah, something to do with filming locations.
Y'all just giving awards out. You just give them away, huh?
Well, you know how they do in California. You know,
Yeah,
they got to
it's
get
not
that.
what you know, it's who you know. Yeah.
Well, that Nanking noodles is going to be huge. Everyone's going to go there.
Oh, that's a
Whatever
real
coffee
place.
house. Yeah, that's a real place.
Okay. Well, because obviously Simulate is a made up sign. I mean, it's a real building, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it looks to me like it's a nice coffee shop, but they just threw a Simulate sign out front.
Yeah. But yeah, the coffee shop will be a tourist location. I'm sure. For Matrix fans, especially the locals who already witnessed, all the shooting locations up front. And thank you guys, whoever is here who took video and shared it on social media.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, no. Astro Ice said, yeah. Astro Ice says Simulate is a coffee shop. Yeah, I'm aware of that, but the sign was clearly made for the movie. What was the other? Yeah, because I was gonna say I saw a cool picture of I think it's out in Nevada somewhere, but the scene in Forrest Gump where he's like running and he's got the really long beard and he just kind of like I don't feel like running anymore. And he like quits on everybody. So I saw this cool picture on social media. I don't remember if it was Twitter or Instagram or whatever, but somebody went to the location and held up a picture of that shot of the movie to the like the same mountain range background. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, definitely movie tourist locations is a thing. In fact, we had a tour of the movie tourist locations in the Matrix Online. I believe, was that our last live stream? Was that the last time we did this?
Yeah, it was. It was for your 5K subs celebration.
Yeah, all the days are running together for me right now. But yeah, man, thank all the subscribers who are part of that 5K, whether you're new or old. And we got some new faces in here, so shout out to you guys. Shout out to the diehards who have been here for a long time. All of you guys are greatly appreciated. Without you, there wouldn't be motivation to keep pressing forward, to spend these long hours making these videos. In fact, earlier today, I posted the Run Saga Run Matrix comic video. And, not all Matrix comics are created equal in the sense that some go deeper down the rabbit hole than others. Some make more references than others. But I thought there was some, there's a cameo in there of a popular character from the film. And I don't know, there was something about it that I enjoyed uniquely about that episode. And then I think it might be just the flow of the frames. It might be more in the artwork than in the story itself. But yeah, if you haven't checked that video out, definitely go check that out. There's a whole playlist of Matrix comics. I'm actually almost done going through all the Matrix comics, which is pretty intense when you think about it. And as far as I know, I don't know that there's anywhere else on the interwebs that has gone over each Matrix comic. I've definitely seen, reviews and information about bunches of them, but all of them, I don't know. I think this might be the first or maybe the only standing leftover attempt at that. We'll see. But yeah, almost done with that. The goal is to be done by the time the Resurrections comes out. So wish me luck. And on that note, class is dismissed. Actually, before we dismiss class, on the way out, if you haven't already, make sure you like the stream. Gotta reach as many hardcore Matrix fans as humanly possible. And now class is dismissed.